what's happening. I'm so glad you called.
Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. Christopher Oleta, Tuesday, August 30th, 2022, Italy. It's been 8 months since our last visit, and the world has changed, but I have not. And so I'm off again into the Italian Alps, to Courmayeur, to experience another piece of the Tour du Mont Blanc, Il Giro di Monte Bianco, as we are in Italy. Travel is difficult in this time post-COVID, with canceled flights and many hours of waiting. It takes us 44 hours door to door from San Diego, California to Salt Lake City, Utah, to Amsterdam, to Florence, Italy, with the final drive an hour and a half to Volterra, on empty roads arriving after midnight. There is no stopping the passions of this, my Italian family, as I enter this culture of food and love on the olive farm in San Cipriano, Volterra. It's very hot and humid, and I struggle with lack of sleep and in understanding the varied dramas that unfold around me and envelop me. I struggle to stay calm, cool, and collected. A month ago, I injured my lower back, with sitting and lying down being the most difficult. I wonder if I can even carry the pack. My last trip to the TMB was in December, with a winter pack, a gigantic 34 kilos. Now it is certain to be less, with no climbing gear like a helmet, ice axe, or crampons, nor the bigger heavy stove for melting snow. Waking with sore back, walking heals my pain. So on the first week in Volterra, I do daily long walks along steep, hilly dirt roads through the farms and ridges of Volterra. On the third day, it's time for the test. With a 90% full pack of 15 kilos, I complete the long walk without difficulty. Then once more with the full pack at 21 kilos, and all is good, besides the usual pains of shoulders, hips, thighs, and knees. Life presents its usual highs and lows, as one day I hold an elderly cousin of 85 whose wife of 93 is dying. He crumbles from stone into sand in my arms, a puddle of tears. Later we celebrate a 50th wedding anniversary of another. With train tickets purchased and a pack complete at 23 kilos, a friend drives me an hour to Pisa for a morning train, Pisa to Torino, and then Aosta, into the great valley of castles, with a final 45-minute bus to Courmayeur at the 12,000-foot wall of Mont Blanc. This is my fourth time here. The first 3 trips, I took the balcony trail above the Val Ferret, across from the gigantic beast of Grandis Jurasis, completing the loop to the Grand Col Ferret, Bivacco Fiorio, returning through the valley bottom to Courmayeur. This time is new, as I'll turn left for a similar loop of the balcony trail, but above the Val Veni, across from Mont Blanc, to reach the Col de la Seine. The weather is certain to be bad, and I'm well prepared. I look forward to the cold mountain rain as I wait in oppressive heat and humidity in Pisa, soon to board the train. It's a beautiful ride up the coast, talking to a nice lady from Torino and her little son. But in Genova, we have to stop an hour as there's a problem on the track. We're over an hour late to Torino with an hour and a half to wait and snack. It's cloudy, but not raining. The 2 hours to Aosta, having fun talking to a Mexican lady and her baby. The Valley of Castles rise in gigantic ridges with milk-white river roaring with rapids. I exit in Aosta at 6:30, across to the bus. The last 45 minutes by bus twists through old villages as mountains pierce the dark, stormy sky. At 7:45, I exit the bus in Courmayeur, going right into the bathroom with the plug for the phone to make a call home. I called earlier, just as I boarded the bus. Now out to get water at the fountain at the giant crampons, to snack, drink, prep the lights by putting the batteries in them, because it's soon to be dark. I helped 2 young Germans hoping to find hobo camp and no buses to take them. Where are you camping, they ask. It's a secret, I say. At 8, I'm off up to the piazza and into the church a moment, dark, quiet, and empty. Now slowly up the road of Villars Superior to the stealth camp in the forest in the dark. Just past the last house, which is lit, I veer off into big open meadows, perfect for stealth camping. I drop the pack at 8:30 as gentle sprinkles fall. By 8:40 the tent is up and I'm in as the sky rips open in lightning flashes and booms of thunder, just seconds behind, and rain falls hard. Unpacking in the tent, I set the bed and soon the stove, making couscous with white raisins and Parmesan cheese in the vestibule. In the small vestibule, there's just enough room for me to do it without catching the tent on fire. It's 10 o'clock when I'm done, and it's still raining hard, but the thunder and lightning has mostly stopped. My Lynx 1 tent is tiny, but it works, and I'm comfy and dry. Soon I'll sleep. It's 10:30. It's hot in the tent, and the cold weather down bag, and it's just so tiny in here. The rain tapers off as I fade off to sleep around 11. I sleep on and off, waking at 4 to start packing in the tent. It's day 2, August 31st. It's not raining, so I move outside to pack and sit in the tent door for oatmeal and cappuccino. At 5:30, I start down the thick, wet grass and onto the road, back down to Courmayeur by headlight. I'm hot and sweaty quick, and I change clothes a few times, reaching the church and the piazza at 6. Then following book notes into the new space on the map, moving clockwise on the TMB through town, across the river, and up into cool villages of Delaunay. I fill all the water at the edge of town, now moving up into the kids' fun park, the MTV track, and the little bunny ski hills. I see a beautiful red fox run across the grass, but it escapes quickly. The trail is crazy steep up Mont Chétif, below gondola lines, reaching the bottom of the ski runs at 8. Workers arrive in cars or in the gondolas, driving tractors on ski runs. I see 2 marmots in the rocks along the trail. It's sunny and warm, and there's no wind as I see mini TMB hikers descending from above. It's slow going to the top of the ski runs, passing dozens of hikers, reaching Maison Viel and the Col at 9 o'clock. I stop in the sun and dry the tent, make coffee, and snack. The massif rises behind in giant towers into the sky of clouds. I hear a big avalanche on the glacier of Mont Blanc as I sip coffee. It's 10 o'clock, and I'm ready to go. More hikers pass going down. Germans, Austrians, Americans, everybody. Every step is an awesome view, but it's brutal going up and up and up. The first lake is deep and green, and it looks drinkable. Dozens pass me along the balcony trail. At 11:30, I stop just before Lac de Vessis, the first of 2 valleys before the descent. I hope to find water and camp up here. Just over the next bump is the little pond. Cow dung is everywhere, but it's deep and clear, so I go down and drop the gear to pump water. It's 12:15. I pump 2 quarts quick, then wander around the rock piles, looking at all the frogs and looking for a place to camp, but it's just too rough. There is a perfect spot along the lake, but 2 girls are there right now. But the trail is busy. A group of 15 mountain bikers just went through. If it doesn't rain, I'll wait until later to set my tent there. It's mostly sunny with clouds sucked to the summits of the massif. I set the stove and make lunch, then call home a bit, giving the info on my location, the weather, and the plan. But I don't feel so good, with a little nausea and headache. It's getting clearer and clearer as the afternoon rolls by, so I sleep a bit, then make coffee. There is a steady stream of hikers going by. 90% are going counterclockwise. I'll pack up and go back over to the lake. With 4 hours of light left, I decide to continue on exploring the next bowl. It's perfect for camp, but only a trickle of water. So it's 4 o'clock, and I continue a final steep climb reaching 2,447 meters. Then a descent into Arp Viel Superior, a big bowl with steep walls and a side trail up to Mont 14. It's the right choice as I reach a big meadow of soft grass and boulders with a tiny flow of water through. It's a spectacular camp spot, and by 5:15 the tent is up. I washed 2 shirts to save clean for the train ride home. The trail is mostly empty now, with only an occasional pair going through. I'm feeling better, with just a mild headache. I'll get a good long sleep tonight, if the marmots stop whistling. It's 5:45. It's 7 o'clock, and dinner is done. The sun is mostly hidden by clouds, as it's soon to set behind the massif. The top of Mont Blanc is now visible, yet to the left, scary dark clouds swirl above the valley of Miage Glacier. As it nears sunset, a little breeze is blowing, and everything can change at any moment. I'll pack everything in the tent, assuming it will rain. I get a faint cell signal and call home. Then I walk around the meadow as the light fades very slowly. It's 8 o'clock, and I'm all ready for bed, teeth cleaned as tiny sprinkles fall, but it's still light, and so I walk around taking photos, stretching, until about 9. I sleep well, only waking at midnight and 3. It's totally clear with no wind, and the Milky Way glows profoundly. It's day 3, September 1st. The last hour, I am cold because I'm hungry. So at 5:30, I'm up for coffee, tons of photos, and oatmeal as I wait for sunrise. It's mostly clear, and by 7, I'm packed and soon to begin down the valley bottom, then continue left, clockwise, towards the col. It's confusing finding the main trail as sheep paths are everywhere, and there's the trail up to Mont 14. I stop to pump 2 quarts, seeing a big frog that comes close to watch me. I miss the fork and double back towards a shepherd's hut. His dogs run out after me, but he stops them. His sheep are in a pen at the moment. Down I go with sunny skies, and as I continue, a line of hikers are going up. I reach Combal at the valley bottom and go slowly up a big valley of streams and reflecting ponds. It's 9:45. I stop to snack and photo a giant waterfall descending below a glacier. The trail is busy, and the climb to the refugio is steep, but spectacular views as always. Next, it's through another valley filled with cows, and the busy trail is forever steep. I see the Casermata, and it's busy with people. Just before it, a big stream passes below a footbridge, and I could camp here, as there's water. Now the final death march, slow, reaching Casermata at 11:50, and then a brutal final stretch to Col de la Seine, reaching it at 12:15. I drop my gear on the other side, in France, but the phone won't work, so I walk 50 feet past the cairn, back into Italy, and it works. The crowds are all around. I call home. It's time for an epic descent. At 12:50, I start down the canyon. It's slow and painful as it's super steep. And then I blast fast in the flat valleys. I'm exhausted before I start, but if I make it to the campgrounds, I can get home by Saturday. I pass Combal. I skip the lake and possible camp spots in view of the glacier, and I continue, now on paved road. On the left is forested moraine, and on the right is a raging, dangerous, milky river with giant rapids. There really is nowhere to stealth camp, and I can't get water anyway. So I dig deep, physically, emotionally, and go way past my limit. The last few hours is torture, but at 4, I walk into the amazing hobo campground. After check-in, I'm setting up the tent just a few yards from a dozen other just off the trail. There's even a jacuzzi right there, a restaurant, a bar, fire pits, barbecue, and even a pool. I set up my tent, shower, stretch in the sun, and try to recover. A young Italian guy on a bike tour befriends me, as most speak French, German, or English. I help him set up his tent. I eat, then call home. I spend a few hours talking with him, as he takes amazing photos, and he really won't leave me alone. We end the night at 9:30 after sitting by the fire. I walked maybe 20 kilometers today, and up and down over 3,000 meters. I learned something from a friend, Mikko Fleming, many years ago. We used to do long ocean paddles on our longboards, surfing each spot along 4 to 6 hour marathons. He said, "We go way beyond our limits with these paddle surfs. Our bodies run out of energy long before we've made it, and our mind lights a fire deep in our heart to make it. But then that fire stays lit for many days, even months." Mikko is one of my heroes, and I'm sure he does not know it. I need to tell him. So at 10, I'm off to bed, every cell of my body sore. But my fire is lit, burning the weakness from my body and mind. I wake at midnight to go out a moment under mostly clear skies of impressive stars. My lower back pain flares, so it's hard to sleep after I wake at 3 a.m. It's day 4, September 2nd. I realize it's my brother Randy's birthday. He would have been 61 today if he lived past 1999. I carry his strong and wild spirit with me, and he experiences more life through me. I wake at 6:30, soon hearing zippers as the mini TMB hikers are eager to get on the trail. My Italian friend calls from his tent, "Buongiorno," and I answer. Today I return to Courmayeur, stealth camp near, and take buses and trains home Saturday. After what I've been through, a gentle 10-kilometer walk will be a sort of rest. I need to arrive near dark at 9 o'clock, so I relax at Camp Hobo, eating and packing. By 9:30, all the hikers are gone. And it looks like rain today, so I pack and prep for that. I pay and relax as music from the bar fills the area. Right now, it's Boom, Boom, Boom of John Lee Hooker. It's 10 o'clock. At 10:30, I start down slow, finding a trail along the river. I stop often, switching to the telephoto 210mm lens as always. I snack, then continue on. Now on the narrow road, rarely walked, yet bikes pass on occasion. The narrow road has no room to walk, and I hug the railing on the edge of the forested cliff. Below is the raging river. On the right, cliffs rise in solid rock, often protected by intricate laced iron fences. At any clearing in the forest, I stop to take photos and snack. It never ends, these explosive views from raging river up gigantic waterfalls to glacier snouts hanging and often belching and calving, buildings of ice in thunderous rumbles. Then above, aretes and towers pierce the ever-moving clouds. Last evening, as the sun slowly set behind the massive, I walked the large grass of the campground, which is spread with many motorhomes, as I took pictures. A British lady came up to me asking, "What is everybody looking at?" I see people all looking up, some with telescopes. I say, "Don't you hear it?" And I sing, "Law, don't you see it?" It's God all over, screaming in silence at us to take notice. Really, though, 1,000-foot waterfall here and there, 10,000-foot walls, and tiny climbers searching for purchase on their way up an arete. I continue down the road, reaching the corner where the two valleys meet at Courmayeur, the Val Ferret and Val Veni. Here at the town of Entreves, the highway goes through the tunnel to France under Mont Blanc, and the gondolas take people up into the sanctuary. I arrive at the little church, Notre Dame de la Garrison, a spectacular little sanctuary of prayer. Every spot of the wall is filled with small paintings, embroidered pictures, photos, and newspaper articles of people in accidents in the mountains. Amazing small paintings of car crashes off of cliffs as the Virgin appears, or avalanches burying a house with similar appearances of Mary, or a man crushed under a tree. Of course, many representations of mountain climbers falling or being caught by the hands of an angel. There are also the usual reliquaries of silver hearts, usually filled with some sort of body part like teeth, bones, or hair. There must be a few thousand of these things. So I make prayers. I most often pray for the living in the name of the dead, as the living carry a great burden of sorrow. I start with my brother Randy Oleta, others in my family that have passed, my uncles Danny Oleta and Michael Payton, Don Payton, Angelina Santa Cruz, the grandfather Oleta I never met, Helen and Don Carr, Mr. Nadelman, and many I can't recall now. I move through the church at varied saints and recall my many friends that passed far too young. Alyssa Rottenberg, Sally Manchester, Michael Nunez, Brian Aylward, Cameron Johnson, Juan Furlong, and I have moments of fear and regret as I can't remember them all, and I know they are listening. In final, I make an offering to the man that brought me here to Italy, the father of my loving partner, Immacolato Roberto. I exit the church and call home with stories, visual descriptions, and my plans then to continue on the final stretch to Courmayeur. I sing as I walk, Ripple, and The Friend of the Devil by the Grateful Dead, or Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. On the final steep, narrow curves, big trucks pass transporting crushed rock. Then a bicyclist crashes on the tight curve into the railing for a moment. He's balanced high on his front wheel, twisting into the railing, but luckily he doesn't flip over the railing or crash on the street. I ask if he needs help, but he's okay, just super embarrassed. As I cross the river and enter Courmayeur, it's relaxing, as I know the town now, but I'm feeling tired from this so-called rest day and this 10-kilometer walk in full pack. It's 2 o'clock as I enter the tourist office and bus stop, going over bus and train schedules. The only night train gets me to Pisa at 2 a.m., and that's no good. But the first bus leaves at 6:15 a.m., so I'll stay here the night. I get a table at Il Arte del Gelato, a little restaurant of the bus stop, ordering a Moretti on tap and a pizza margherita. I talk with the people, write, and relax. It's dreamlike and strange, alone and in a faraway land. At 3:30, it starts to sprinkle as I finish the pizza. Buses come and go with a constant stream of old people or trekkers in small packs with bright colors and sporty gear. Still, all cling to and look at their smartphones, an oxymoronic sickness. The sprinkles stop, but it's getting darker, and some booms of thunder are profound. The restaurant has emptied out, and I ordered another beer. It's 4 p.m. Let's count the distance and altitude. Courmayeur, I went up. Let's see. When I total it all, I went up from Courmayeur to Arp, then down, then up, all the way to Col de la Seine, then back down to Hobo, and now to Courmayeur. It looks like I went about maybe 18 kilometers times 2, that would be 32 kilometers, about 20 miles, and I crossed over 3,316 meters, which is about 10,000 feet. At 4:30, I call home, but she has Sonia visiting. It's really raining now. She calls me back, and we have a nice talk. Her mom tells them a story about how I have all this gear, and it all fit in one pack. They were laughing so hard. I think she was confused as I store all my gear in 3 packs in my room, then sort out what I need into 1 pack. The rain stops as I say goodbye. Soon I'll go to the church. I visit the tourist office for some chit-chat, then move on slowly to Piazza and the church. Mass just started, so I go in. It's 6 p.m. It's short, and off I go, up slowly, the steep neighborhood of Val Sapine. Just past the last house, and still on the paved road before the parking spot, I come to the open grass of Camp 1. One car passes me a moment before, and now another is arriving. It's the police, and I get the camera out, playing tourist trekker as they pass going up. Continuing a bit more, I hop down on use trails below the road and along the stream. Just 30 feet from the road is thick forest, and it's clear. There's a cleared-off camping spot. It's 7:15, and I hide my pack and wait. The stream trickles in small cascades, and birds tweet about. A car comes down, a white van. At 7:30, the police jeep passes going down. Once the cops go by, I feel better, and around 8, I set the tent as light sprinkles begin. My luck is good, because once I get the tent up at around 8:30, a giant boom of thunder starts, and the party of rain falls solid. There are no windows in the tent, but large lightning flashes, and they light up everything, and large thunder is just 2 to 3 seconds behind. It rains hard for most of the night, but I'm dry and warm. It's hard to sleep as I'm tilted and roll to one side, and I roll to the tent wall and sleep a little, but it's hard. It's okay, but my lower back flares with some pain, and I can't get on my side. I sleep 9 to 12:30, and then wake at 3. The rain has stopped. At 3:30, I'm up, packing in the tent, then final outside to take down the tent, and in a few steps, I'm on the road, going down by headlamp into the silent, sleeping Courmayeur. The lights at the bus area are always on, and the bathroom is always open. I take a sink bath and put on perfume, one of those little sample bottles you get at the mall, and I'm wearing mostly clean clothes I saved. I'm out to the benches to wait. It's 5 a.m. The crazy homeless guy I spoke to yesterday is here sitting on his bags, moaning or smoking cigs. I tried to be nice to him yesterday, asking, "Come stai?" "Male, male," he said, quite angry, and I felt, oh, that's that, I'll leave him alone. I chat with an Italian guy who's trekking. He's off in the Flexbus using his app. It sprinkles on and off. At 6:15 I go, a bus, 3 trains, a bus, 11 hours to San Cipriano Volterra. Now you, go take a hike.
Dieci secondi di film o qualcosa.
Ma faccio un filmato o faccio una foto? Faccio
No, un film. Guarda, con il bottone rosso.
Perché c'è il...
No, questo, vieni qua. Vieni qua, guardare. Sì, no, noi facciamo film in questo momento. Stiamo filmando.
Io non sapevo niente.
Tutte queste cazzate stiamo filmando.
Madonna.
Ok.
Per stoppare blocco tramite questo. Ciao. Buongiorno. Enrico. La mia bici. Le tende. La mia tenda. Vicino. Grande. Siamo in un campo rom.
Oh, il caffè è pronto.
Bellissimo, bellissimo.
Caffè con verdura.
Esatto.
Caffè con verdura.
Bellissimo. Caffeino.
Ok, basta.